If I had a penny for every sad 13 episode romance anime that I watched with a white-haired, emotionally detached, robotic petite female love interest, I would have 2 pennies, which isn't a lot, but it's still weird that it happened twice. Angel Beats is a show I watched as a rookie in my anime career, and I don't think anything could have prepared me for what I was walking into. Comedy, violence, pain, depression, romance, and the existential question of the true meaning of life and death. And on top of all that, Angel Beats could have the most hilarious Psyche-esque start to an episode, followed up with the most gut-wrenching backstory known to man, and the next episode will play this sensational opening talking about some Kikoeta Kikashita Kanjeki Kikashitanda. Anyways, I think it's a canon event for every anime fan to go through a phase where they just watch a whole bunch of sad anime. Why? I don't know. I think we just hate ourselves. So let's cut the yapping and get straight into the meat and potatoes. The episode begins and Shiro Emiya from Fate wakes up in the middle of the night in a random school, and the camera pans over to Shiro from a Karma Girl Kill wielding a heavy sniper aimed at that white-haired girl from High School DxD. If you know, you know. She proceeds to explain that this is actually the afterlife where no one is able to die and that you will be obliterated by this little girl if you don't fight. Her name is Yuri, and she is the leader of Not Dead Yet Battlefront, and she is trying to recruit our main character over here into joining up with them in their fight against Angel. Long story short, they are basically in the gulag. Our main character has the most normal response to all this, because what do you mean I just woke up at 3 AM in the morning in a random high school and you're out here talking about sniping this random girl for 210 to the cranium? He says that he's going to talk to the girl instead, and Yuri begins tweaking out when another member of Battlefront pulls up rocking an AK-47. I'm like, bro, what you on? He walks away and starts talking to the girl and says that there are people trying to shoot her because she's some type of angel, when she responds and says that she's no angel but she's the student council president, before she begins confirming everything Yuri was telling her. Everyone in this school has previously died. This is the afterlife and no one can die or get sick. He asks her to prove it before she says roadman breathing. Second form. Why you running, bruv? Stabbing him in the chest. As he later wakes up feeling like Prime Subaru with all his wounds fully healed. He's rightfully so confused and tries to escape when Sinbad pulls up wielding a Dark Souls battle axe and puts him in a 100-hit Dragon Ball Sparking Zero combo because he disrespected Yuri by not joining the team. And lo and behold, a few hours goes by and he's alive again. I gotta say, this is one of the most chaotic starts to an anime ever. They really threw us in the deep end and provided little to no context. This is how it felt to watch the first episode of Lord of Mysteries and have absolutely zero idea of what's going on. He goes to look for anyone that can actually explain what's going on when he goes to the principal's office just to get hit with this Tom and Jerry ass contraption. Yo. This man's life is horrible. It's been like 5 minutes. After getting boomed for a third time, he wakes up and he's surrounded by Yuri and a bunch of members of Battlefront. He explains that he just wants to get obliterated and move on from this place when Zantetsu says that he could end up being reincarnated as anything. A roach, a New York rat, or even a koala bear. You guys don't understand my hate for koala bears. These animals are so stupid, it's insane. Do you know the only plant they eat barely has any nutrients, causing them to sleep for 20 hours a day? And on top of that, the plant is actually poisonous, so they had to develop specialized organs just to eat it, which means their brains aren't just smooth. They are also lazy bums. Like, bro, get a job. I apologize for my outburst. Yuri further explains that in this world, they are able to continue living as long as they keep fighting, and if they defeat Angel, then this new world will belong to them. Seeing as he doesn't have any of his memories, he decides to join them, at least until he has some of his memories back, as it's a lot safer than signing with Angel. They introduce us to some of the members of Battlefront, and this is Hinata. He's kinda zesty, but he's loyal to the core. This guy is Matsushita V, who's known for being good at martial arts. Then we got the Psylocke cosplayer whose name is Sheena, and finally we have their token idol pop star called Iwasawa. We get even more lore, and turns out all the people who are wearing regular uniforms are actually bots, like literal NPCs kept here to fill up the player count. They hand Otonashi his strap and tap him into his first mission, Operation Tornado. Since they can't do activities like normal students, they need to steal meal tickets so that they can eat. They surround the perimeter like a veteran military unit, armed and dangerous to the bone. All this for a canonically 4'11" Japanese high school girl is bonkers. Iwasawa and her group start a distraction when Angel Von spawns in like prime Herobrine and begins walking down Otonashi. He takes the first shot, but she just stands there, unfazed, before equipping her Excalibur, and look at the way bro is skedaddling out of there. This is how Light Yagami was running at the end of Death Note. This man is terrified, and I can't even blame him. He turns around and takes another shot, but Angel just parries it on some Sekiro timing. Otonashi's timbers are officially shivered, but luckily, backup arrives, and they waste no time and begin Swiss cheesing her ass. But she has some type of Gojo infinity around her that forces the bullets to be deflected. I already know Otonashi is going to be describing Angel just like this from this day forward.
Bruh, he was dead, bruh. If he wanted you out of there, he'll go do it himself on feet by himself.
That's what I'm saying, man. Shorty was a bad. Something was wrong with him. That's not human, man. You're not regular, man.
One of Satan's greatest soldiers was King Von.
She's eating these bullets the same way Prime Thanos was moving in season 4 of Fortnite. The concert has officially reached its peak and the food tickets have been dispersed into the air, allowing the gang to retreat. And the next scene just cuts over to all of them eating some Naruto ramen. And you know, don't get me wrong, I like ramen as much as the next guy, but did we really just fight the love child of Frieren and Satoru Gojo over some Indomie? School lunch cannot be that good. Some time passes and they prepare for their next mission because it turns out they have run out of weapons to use against Angel, so they now need to go down to the guild to retrieve some more. But as they make their way down, it's made evident that the traps to keep Angel out have been reactivated, meaning that Angel is trying to locate the guild. They continue to make their way down when the first person gets dropped off by this Indiana Jones type contraption. Luckily Otonashi survives because Hinata saved him. They continue to descend when my dog Matsushita gets turned into sashimi on the next trap. I get that they can't die and all, but they still feel the pain. Like bro, look at the way DK went out. This is brutal. You can see where this is going. As they go down, they continue to lose more and more people until it's just Otonashi and Yuri left. They take a small break when Yuri tells us her backstory. She used to be the oldest of 4 siblings and had 2 rich, loving parents. Her life was amazing, but one day, some robbers came looking for money when her parents were out of the house and they couldn't find anything. They turned to Yuri and said, hey, let's play a little game. You need to find me something valuable, and every 10 minutes you don't find me something, one of your siblings will die. Sweet mother of pearl, dear Neptune. She's like 5 years old, trying to scramble to find something, and when she finally does, she ends up dropping and breaking it. Damn. 30 minutes later the police show up, but all her siblings are already dead and she's the only one left alive. Astaghfirullah. Who robbed the house? Jigsaw? The Joker? Dio Brando? This is pure evil. So that's the reason Yuri is fighting against Angel, because she believes her life was extremely unfair. They continue their journey and this whole world just keeps on getting more and more confusing, because what do you mean? They have a whole underground steampunk city underneath the high school. It reminds me of the underground city in Attack on Titan. Angel is closing in and they decide that they are best off just booming the entire facility and moving on to their old guild. Otonashi and Yuri go to hold her off, but she activates her infinity, so Yuri starts going blow for blow with her in close quarters combat. Angel weaves the first 3 combos before deflecting the knife and using Kira's phantom step to dodge the 2 follow-ups, and counters with her own flurry rush, leaving Yuri defenseless. Angel's bag is kinda deep. Luckily Otonashi steps in and body checks her to the floor, allowing the support team to stall long enough to blow up the guild and get away. Another successful mission. Fast forward and they are back in the lobby and it seems like everyone has respawned. They get started on the next mission and they want to infiltrate Angel's hideout and hack into her database to steal information. Everyone is preparing for the next mission when Otonashi meets... Hold up, is that Shorty from To Love Ru? Hey, if you know, you know. She's basically your average K-pop stan and is a huge fangirl of Iwasawa and her band called Girl Dead Monster. Otonashi goes to see what all the hype is about because no way they are better than Prime Big Time Rush. I'm only loyal to one band.
But I overheard your girls and this is what they said. Looking for a boyfriend. I see that. Give me time, you know I'm gonna be there. Don't be scared, to trust in me. Can't you see all the beautiful?
After getting to speak with Iwasawa, she tells us her backstory. She grew up in an abusive household, similar to most Xbox players on Clash Royale. Her life was horrible, but whenever she listened to music from this particular band, she was able to use it as a form of escapism from reality.
Just got a drop on his flexing neighbor. He from Tennessee, I got a thought. She be with the shit, she told me where he be. I said for sure, baby let me know if you wanna eat. She like, Vaughn, you already know, just put your girl on fleek. I'm like, cool, I can do that boo. What you want, some shoes? Jimmy Choo, with that handbag too. Red and navy blue, she get the smiling. She ain't used to this, cause she ain't used to shit. I just laugh, could've been a pimp the way I move my lips. I be speeding, could've been a driver the way I push the whip.
One day on her way home, she found a guitar and that's how her journey as a musician began. She was recording songs, performing, and auditioning for big music labels. She was going to continue to take gigs until she could move out of her toxic household. Her life finally had some type of direction and it was starting to look somewhat hopeful. Damn. After seemingly breaking free from that living hell, she got a stroke that led to her no longer being able to speak, and to make things even worse, it all came from a blow to the head at a young age during one of her parents' fights. Dog. This is so sad. Her life was so horrible, and just when it found something that could bring her a little bit of joy, she lost it all due to something that was completely out of her control. Seems like these are the reason why I always feel uneasy whenever things are going too well in life. It's like I can't just enjoy the small moments of happiness because I'm always anticipating the worst case scenario. We cut over to the gang starting the next mission as they infiltrate Angel's hideout, and the way they were speaking about it, I thought we would be dealing with the Batcave, but whole time these guys broke into this girl's room to hack into her personal computer. Whilst Iwasawa's group is distracting Angel and all the other students, the hacking team is busy breaking into Angel's laptop. But before they are actually able to get any valuable info, it seems Girl's dead monster have been caught lacking by the teachers. Angel is returning to her room when Iwasawa takes a guitar and begins playing a song that she's been working on as this beautiful, peaceful melody begins playing in the background. The other unit continue their operation and manage to find out that Angel has been able to turn herself into a NEN user through some sort of high-tech program. The mission is a success, however when we return to Iwasawa, it seems like she's finally reached the highest form of bliss, finally achieving her lifelong dream of performing this type of music in front of an audience, meaning that she's let go of any prior resentment, essentially being obliterated right there and then. Damn bruh. I don't know, for whatever reason this just hit home. This essentially means that being obliterated doesn't actually mean taking devious backshots from Angel, but it actually means that you have achieved your dream and you can pass on to the afterlife without any regrets. Beautiful. After losing their lead vocalist, they are no longer able to carry out missions because they won't be able to create a distraction, so they recruit Lala as Iwasawa's replacement. Her name is Yuri, and I like how they introduced the singing ability by having her sing the new opening. After some begging, they let her in, and Yuri lets us know that there is going to be an official baseball game for the students. Everyone from Battlefront needs to participate, and whoever performs the worst will have to partake in Yuri's penalty death game, so they all need to squad up.
Otonashi, I really need you, man.
Sure you're not gay? Sure you're not gay?
Oh, he could be in a bit of trouble.
The yellow card is changed, and for the third time this season, an Arsenal player sees red.
Otonashi and Hinata team up, but it seems like all the other heavy hitters have already been recruited, so now they are stuck with Yui, Sheena, the Psylocke cosplayer, this crackhead, and a bunch of regular NPCs to fill up the numbers. They really should have called on me. I was an all-star Hall of Fame Wii baseball player. People used to compare me to Shohei Ohtani. Honestly, for the most part, it's a regular baseball game. I mean, as regular as an Angel Beats baseball game will get. The chemistry between Hinata and Yui is honestly hilarious though. All the Battlefront members are winning their games against the NPCs, so that's when Angel pulls up with the entire school baseball team to put a stop to them. After eliminating every other team, Hinata and Otonashi's team made it to the final and face off against Angel. The game is extremely close as it's officially 6-7, and you know what guys, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I got a clue about what's going on. I have absolutely zero baseball knowledge. Anyways, on the final play, we get to hear Hinata's backstory, and bro basically just fumbled the final catch to win his high school championship. They made this out to be the equivalent of Kodo Muwani missing that one shot in the 2022 World Cup final. After this game, one of his classmates comes to him and hands him Class A drugs. What? This is a high school baseball game. It cannot be this serious. Who's behind this? Ray Dark? Igo Jinpachi? Batatsura? I'm guessing that one shroom probably spiraled him down the wrong path and caused him to OD. Damn bruh. Talk about a butterfly effect. Can you imagine you miss an open layup in a high school basketball game and the moment after the game finishes, your classmate is trying to turn you into a crackhead? I'd be sick. We return to the game and Otonashi throws the ball as their hitter hits it, and Hinata gets a feeling of deja vu, finally being able to make up for his past mistake.
Better scramble like an egg before you get folded like an omelet, nigga.
Ooh, that brother's floating in the air.
Yuri really put bro in a WWE wrestling move mid-game. I gotta respect the dedication to the squabble. He probably would have been obliterated had he caught that ball though. After some time passes, it's officially exam season, which means Angel's rampage is going to get even more insane. That's when Ryupi comes up with a plan to swap out Angel's test results with fake ones in the hopes of getting her removed from being the student council president. After using a bunch of dumb methods to distract everyone and change her answers, it seems like it actually worked, because a few days later, Kanade Tachibana was forced to step down and the vice president student Naoi has now become the new student council president. One thing I'll never understand in anime is the concept of the student council. Like, these guys have more power and authority than the teachers. I don't know if you guys seen this anime, but the worst case scenario of this gotta be Kagaguri. Like, the entire school is practically run by the student council president. Yuri says that since Angel has been demoted, they should be free to do whatever they want, and they set up another school lunch mission. Yui is leading the distraction, and lo and behold, Angel shows up. But Otonashi says that they shouldn't shoot her because apparently she lost her spark. And it's true, she just turned up to order some good eats. So they continue with their mission, securing themselves that cafeteria munch. Otonashi is beginning to feel bad for Angel, and I can already tell they're trying to push a little something between these two. After thinking they would be able to get away with everything, the new student council president is cracking down on Battlefront's nonsense. But since he's a regular student, they are not allowed to fight against him the same way they fight against Angel. Everyone is tasked with acting normal until Yuri finds out more information about Naoi. So Otonashi goes to spit some game at Angel, asking if she wants to grab some lunch with him. I see you, my boy. Otonashi is out here Krillin maxing. Falling in love with the enemy is low-key diabolical though. I could see if it was a real baddie. If he was spitting game at 118, I'd be like, hey, that's 18. But Angel? To each their own, I guess. As they are eating, Naoi pulls up and tells them that it's against school rules to eat during breaks. So as a punishment, he puts them in a maximum security prison. After spending some time in there, we get the low drop from Yuri, and turns out that Naoi wasn't actually an NPC, but a regular human this whole time. He has been abusing his power to violate the NPCs. This guy was playing GTA the whole time. Matter of fact, he was playing Simpsons Hit and Run. Otonashi begs Angel to help him break out as they run to the battlefield just to see an actual massacre. This is the side Obito saw after running to Rin and Kakashi, and then we get bro Aura farming in the rain. He proceeds to say that he's the god of this world because he's suffered in life. This man really watched Code Geass and forgot how to act. You are not Lelouch v Britannia. He grabs Yuri and begins using his Geass? Bro straight up starts hypnotizing Yuri, damn near putting it into an infinite Tsukuyomi where her siblings are still alive. You know what, bro? I owe you an apology. I wasn't really familiar with your game. This might be Lelouch. Luckily, Otonashi locks in and lands an overhand right, pinning him to the floor. Then we get bro's backstory. I was expecting the saddest, most gut-wrenching backstory of all time from someone who claims to be God. But his brother turned out to be super talented and he was a bum. And one day when they were out playing, they fell down a cliff and his talented brother died and he lived. His parents forced him to become his brother because he was going to carry on the family name or something. I mean, I guess. Anyhow, Otonashi acknowledges him and tells him that he's important to you, which made him fooled. Long story short, he got talk no jutsu'd, all in the span of 20 minutes. Absolutely zero conviction. And lo and behold, this man done joined the crew. What in the fairy tale is even going on right now? Yuri wants to use his Geass abilities to try and unlock Otonashi's memories.
I'll always be on your side.
They get started and we see that Otonashi used to be a certified shot-in weeaboo neat. Even had the haircut to match. Out here looking like that one guy from Love is War. His sister was bedridden and he would work part-time jobs just so he could buy her a bunch of presents. She wanted to go see the Christmas lights, but she was too sick to go. So he decided to sneak her out despite the doctor telling her not to. But as he was carrying her, she randomly says thank you for everything and doesn't speak another word for the rest of the night. Damn, she passed away. His little sister was his only reason for living, but after moping in depression for a while, he got his spark back and started hustling with a new goal in mind. He wanted to become a doctor so that he could help people and prevent anyone from going through what he had to go through. W mans. But remember what I said earlier, gotta be wary whenever life gets too good, because on the train ride to his entrance exam, the train crashes. Died whilst working towards his dream. I'd be mad too. Imagine you are inches away from achieving it all and turning everything around just for you to straight up die. I hate wasted potential. Stuff like this just keeps me up at night. Otonashi goes to link up with his little shit and he asks Kanade if she wants to join them whilst fishing. Everyone is initially against it, but Yuri lets her join and they basically go on a mini fishing side quest where we get to see the girl bonding with Kanade. It's honestly pretty cute. It turns out she's extremely strong, so they get her to reel in this bad boy. I mean, not to brag or anything, but I used to be a professional fisherman on replay. I was consistently reeling in the king of the pond. Those 350 points, if you know, you know. Angel locks in whilst everyone helps her pull in this fish that looks like that one creature from the one episode in Avatar The Last Airbender before she jumps from the top rope and turns it into straight sushi. They realize it's too much food, so they hold a barbecue with the regular NPCs. Angel is really starting to become a part of the team, but Yuri stumbles in at night on 12 HP and says that she was just fighting Angel, but Angel was here the whole time. When the camera pans to a whole nother Angel, aura farming in front of the full moon like Planetachi, she drops down and Yuri wastes no time. It's really on sight. They go for a triple clash, exchanging blows while everyone is confused as as to how there are two angels. Yuri tries to hold her own, but that angel flurry rush is simply too overpowered, moving like Link from Zelda. They surround her and begin airing it out, but she still has her infinity turned on as she goes for the counter when the good angel pulls through with the revenge counter. Fast forward and Kanade is unconscious when Yuri explains the reason as to why they are two angels. When they hacked into Angel's database, it showed she had a skill called Harmonics that allows her to create copies of herself, and it seems like she accidentally activated it. Since Angel is still unconscious, Yuri tries to hack into Angel's database again to see if she can rewrite her code to make the clone return to the original host 10 seconds after being created. But by the time she does that and returns to campus, Angel has been kidnapped by the evil angel. You know what, I'ma just call the good angel Kanade because this is getting confusing. Kanade has been taken to the bottom of the guild, so they need to do the same boss run that cut their members down to 2 players last time. They begin to make their way down when they already run into the evil angel. She speed blitzes their weapons when a second angel appears impaling our local crackhead. They really got 2 of these King Von crashouts roaming the field. Ref, do something. They barely manage to escape when they run into a third angel. It's a wrap. This evil angel done pulled and multiplied herself a bunch of times before Yuri rewrote the code. I'm sick. Matsushita V puts her in a full Nelson, allowing everyone to escape, also letting them realize that the best way to bypass Angel is to sacrifice 1 member per clone. So similar to last time, they end up making it all the way down until it's just Yuri and Otonashi left. Well, I mean, Yui was there too, but she deadass died while trying to aura from outside the bus room. This is the equivalent of dying to a random undead on the way to the bus run back in the Souls game. Yuri and Angel really got a squabble on side order. She takes the pot shots before closing the— damn! Zoe, mama! Let me analyze this. She takes 2 shots to force the parry into cooldown, weaves the down heavy, dodges the poke, and uses the follow-up to judo throw her like 12 feet and ends the combo with a grenade. Yuri really liked that. They gotta put her in Licorice recoil. Angel stands there unfazed though as she opens a domain, howling. Screech of 1,000 wolves, attempting to burst Yuri's eardrums, but Yuri studied tape when she was hacking into Angel's database and knew she had this ability in her back pocket, allowing it to land a critical blow. Otonashi finds the real Kanade and tells her to use harmonics, but that's when evil Angel spawns in and says that the hundreds of Angel variants she created will return to Angel's body, meaning that they are basically going to have like a giant Fortnite battle royale to fight over control of Angel's real body. I don't know if anyone remembers, but it's kind of similar to Mike from Total Drama and how he had a bunch of personalities in his body fighting for control. As we cut over to Otonashi waiting by Angel's bed, we get the Snyder cut of his backstory as he remembers the remaining parts. He wakes up after his train crashed, and I thought that's how he died, but turns out him and some other people actually survived the initial impact, so him and this other guy take command and try to help all the survivors survive. And I'm not gonna cap, I think I would rather get clapped by the initial impact of the train. Hear me out. This is a horrible situation to be in. At that point, I'd rather get isekai and get it over with. Like, you don't even know who you're in the train with. You could be in the train with some narcissistic sociopath that's gonna try to, I don't know, torture people, think that like this is his, I don't know, man, I don't know. I think I'd rather just die right there and then. Although imagine if you survived and ended up getting rescued, the dad lord would be insane. Let me know in the comments what you'd rather prefer. Would you rather just get clapped by the instant impact? Or would you want to, like, I don't know, survive the initial blow and then try to survive until help came? They only have enough food left for 3 days when these greedy losers, these greedy bums, these greedy fairy tale fans decide to run away with what little water they have left because they didn't want to share with anyone else. They hawk him down as they trip and spill all the water. I would have given this man the Yusuke Deluxe, straight knuckle sandwich to the cranium. Are you mad? But Otonashi must have just finished watching Vinland Saga because as everyone is screaming for these neeks to get that Kuma treatment, he says he will not drink any water going forward to compensate for any of the lost water. What a goated person, man. We all gotta be more like him. A day passes and we have our first death. And as a whole week goes by, everyone comes to terms with the fact that they are fried. So Otonashi signs on a piece of paper that he wants to donate his organs to people in need so that he can give some meaning to his life. This inspires everyone else to do the same, but that little bit of contemptness caused him to lose any of his fighting spirit because Otonashi has died. And not even half a second later, I kid you not even 10 seconds later, they end up getting rescued. That's brutal, bro. As he wakes up, Kanade is also reawakened and she says she managed to defeat all the evil versions of herself. Otonashi explains that he got all his memories back and he shouldn't even be here since he was actually happy with the life he lived, but since he had amnesia, he accidentally ended up here. That's when it hits him. This isn't hell or Jahannam, this is a place for those to realize their true emotions, almost a second chance at a perfect life, one where no one ages, no one gets sick, so that they can have an infinite amount of time to become content with their life. This is low-key beautiful. Kanade explains that that's what she's been trying to do this whole time, but she was too socially inept to properly explain herself. So this whole time she wasn't the enemy, but she was only fighting back because they attacked her first. What is this Freeman x Mao Mao level of obliviousness? Otonashi changes his goal and now wants to help everyone get obliterated so that they too can feel true happiness. Kanade pretends to have lost to the evil angel and resumes her position as student council president so that Yuri will be distracted. They decide that Yuri should be the first person to be obliterated, so Otonashi finds a way to figure out her backstory, and long story short, when she was a kid, she got hit by a car which caused her to be paralyzed and completely bedridden. He asks her what her dreams are and she says she wants to hit a home run, score a goal like Maradona and perform a German suplex, followed by the football goal because she wants to become a real egoist. She dribbles past the crackhead, hits bro over here with the Shido spin kick, but gets the ball taken by DK, so Otonashi starts playing against them and gives her the ball back as she gets one-on-one with the goalkeeper and pulls out an actual Inazuma 11 Hisatsu technique as it flies into the bottom corner. Ego Jinpachi signed her up to the Bullock 11. Lastly is the home run, but after trying for like 2 days, they realize she don't got the facilities for that big man. She says that all her dreams have basically come true except for one, and that the final piece of the puzzle is her getting married, since in her real life, no one would want to get married to a paralyzed girl. And that's when our goat Hinata pulls up, beating the zesty allegations, and says that he would marry Yuri regardless of her being paralyzed in real life. He doesn't care about the handicap, he doesn't care about her situation, and says he would marry her anyway. I'm gonna marry her anyway, marry that girl, yeah, I'll marry her anyway, marry that girl, don't care what you say, marry that girl, yeah, start a family. Why you gotta be so rude? Oh. Alright chat, if you're hearing this, I'm extremely ill. I'm recording this on 2 HP, so I'm just gonna leave this and I don't even care. I knew Yuri and Hinata had a little some going on. No way you put someone you don't like in a full Nelson every chance you get. But damn man, I did not expect that little montage of them meeting in the real world together at the end to get me all soppy. Yes, me and you watching this right now will find happiness twin. We will find the love of our lives twin, believe it. And with that, Yuri has officially been obliterated, passing on to the afterlife. Hinata agrees to help Otonashi out until the end, but it seems like Naoi also has figured out what Otonashi is up to, so he has agreed to help him too. But as they are discussing their plans, a grey blob begins consuming Naoi the same way the Smash Bros roster was getting jumped in, bro. They luckily managed to defeat it, but after they meet up with Yuri and Angel, it's clear that these shadows are some type of bug in the system, because when they go outside, they see all of Battlefront having an all-out war with these creatures like they're playing Fortnite Save the World. You already know Grim Reaper Yuri always got it on her and is always ready to go as she rushes into the battlefield, firing shots first and asking questions later. Angel is helping them out, but that's when they see that the regular NPCs are actually being converted into demons. One of the Battlefront members says that Zantetsu got caught by one of those creatures, and the next day, they catch bro in regular uniform attending classes as a normal student. This brother done got turned into a permanent NPC in this world and lost all of his previous memories. Damn. That's when Yuri says that it's possible they've spent too much time in this world and they are now being factory reset by this world's god. She holds an emergency meeting revealing the situation to everyone on Battlefield and basically gives them two options. They can either keep fighting and eventually get caught by the shadows and turn into permanent NPCs, or they can follow Otonashi and get obliterated, becoming content with life. Yuri is really like that, she knew all along. Everyone takes time to think over what they want to do, continue fighting this endless battle, or let go of the suffering and finally rest. Yuri Von on the other hand is counting bullets and stocking up her arsenal like Punisher to hunt down the real culprit. She deducts that it must be a human behind the NPCs turning into Tokoyama from My Hero Academia, so that means he would need access to numerous PCs to alter their DNA, the same way Kanade was doing with her own body. She goes into the computer lab and finds the secret entrance that leads to the bottom of the guild. While she's on her stealth mission, the rest of Battlefront pulls up to Otonashi and says that they have fought it over and agree to pass on to the next life. And I don't know, just seeing the hallway clear out like that, it just got me, man, it just got me. The main members are the only ones left remaining, so they need to hold down the fort that they're playing Prime COD Zombies. The entities continue to multiply as they are fighting a whole army of these things. Yuri is still on a solo mission, and this just reminds me of how Suika in the early seasons of Dr. Stone would go on these insane reconnaissance missions while Senku and the gang were making Coca-Cola or something. Yuri is running low on bullets when the guild master gives her the coldest aura lob of all time, handing her that legendary drum gun with infinite ammo before vanishing like Batman. She continues to advance, slowly attempting to take out the shadows, but even Yuri Wick can be caught lacking as she gets turned into an NPC. Damn. With how sad this anime has been, I genuinely thought it was a wrap and they would just end the story off here, but luckily she managed to break free from being an NPC of pure conqueror's haki alone. After regaining her consciousness, she reunited with Kanade, Hinata, Naoi, and Otonashi as they push through to the final level. Kanade pops her ult, taking out majority of the shadows, allowing Yuri to break into the Game Master's room. She sees all the stolen computers when Kiritsuga Emiya turns around, revealing that he's been pulling the strings all along. They continue to talk when Yuri realizes that this guy is a mere NPC programmed to do what he's doing. He answers Yuri's questions and states that he started the factory resetting this world because love was blooming, and that concept shouldn't be allowed to live in this world, because the moment you feel that sort of happiness, you should pass on. And it makes sense, because if it didn't, then that would technically mean you could live an eternal life in this like eternal Eden with eternal youth. It'd be like playing Minecraft creative mode. That's when we find out that the original creator of this game became a random NPC because he fell in love with a girl in this world that passed on without him, leaving him stuck here forever. Damn. The Game Master NPC gives Yuri two options. You can either completely shut down the system or become a god of this world and rewrite the code, making it however you want it to be. She definitely thought about it for a second, but this is Yuri we're talking about, and begins unloading on the computers, destroying each and every single one of them until the system is no more. Stand up now and face the sun. Won't hide my tail or turn and run. It's time to do what must be done. Be a king when kingdom comes. Or you can tell everybody. Well, you can tell everybody. The war is over. They've completed the game, defeated the final boss, and finished all the side quests. There is nothing left to do except graduate. Everyone has passed on except for Yuri, Otonashi, Angel, Hinata, and Naoi. And seeing Yuri act like an actual female instead of a war-hardened army veteran is very sweet. They go through the motions of a traditional Japanese graduation ceremony, and it's nice to actually get to see them acting like normal high schoolers. Naoi is the first person to pass on, followed by Yuri dipping out. Then Hinata goes right after dapping up his day one. I don't know what it is, bruh, but that one just hit home. You know, I always tell you guys how I moved countries many times, and I don't know. I guess that dap up with the homie before going down a separate path just hit a little too close to home. It's now just Kanade and Otonashi left. When they go for a walk, as Otonashi asks whether Kanade wants to stay over here with him. But as Kanade walks towards him, she drops some insane law and says that she doesn't want to stay here because if she tells Otonashi the truth for as to why she's been here for so long, then she will likely pass on. And that's when she tells Otonashi that she's grateful for him, not for the things that she did in this world, but for the organ donation. That's right. After Otonashi died in the real world, the heart of his dead body was transplanted into Kanade's body, allowing her life to be extended. The reason she ended up here was because she didn't get to say thank you to the person who saved her life. They hug one last time as Kanade vanishes, passing on with contemptness. Damn. And that's the end of Angel Beats. Also, I thought, because they hit us with a Marvel post-credit scene that shows a reincarnated Kanade humming Iwasawa's song when a reincarnated Otonashi walks past her, insinuating that they met again on some Your Name timing. Absolute cinema. They don't make one and done short animes like this anymore. These hidden gems are truly special. I'm a little bit ill, but I managed to push through the recording, so hopefully you guys see this soon. If you enjoyed the video, you can watch another one right here, and you should check out my second channel where I'm going to be covering cartoons and movies and all sorts of other stuff. But hey, that's it from me. Peace. Oh, and follow the IG.